My artifact of choice is the Baro't, a two-piece clothing ensemble traditionally worn by Filipino women. It consists of a blouse and skirt, but occasionally a overskirt and scarf are added. The Baro't or Baro't dates back to the pre-colonial era of the Philippines between the years 900 and 1521. Back then, it was worn by both men and women and consisted of two pieces, a shirt or jacket and a pair of shorts or a short pencil skirt. When the Spanish colonized the Philippines, they viewed the Baro't as indecent and favored long skirts instead. By the late 18th century, this ensemble consisted of two pieces, a collarless shirt, the Baro't, and an ankle skirt, the saya. And it became the everyday wear for a lot of Filipino women. This object is part of Filipino culture. I was born in the southern part of the Philippines called Mindanao, and specifically the Davao region, which is one of the areas that was least affected by Spanish colonization. Many other clothing ensembles were born during the colonization, but are then wrongly categorized as part of true Filipino culture. The Baro't is one of the few typical clothing ensembles that has its roots in pre-colonial Philippines, which is why I wanted to highlight it in this video. In the Philippines, it is believed that women should act and look elegant and sophisticated. The Baro't is supposed to be the perfect embodiment of those characteristics. The design itself is not very practical for working Filipinas, which is why it was mostly worn by the middle and upper classes. Women with this kind of social status did not have to perform hard labor, so they had the liberty to wear long skirts and luxurious fabrics. The design of the blouse and skirt are pre-colonial, but then the overskirt and neck scarf were additions made by the Spanish. The Baro't represents Filipina femininity and everything a true Filipina should be, which is graceful, charming, and well-dressed, of course. These values date back to centuries, but are still modern and fresh at the same time, which is why the Baro't is still worn on special occasions and gatherings in the Philippines, and its design constantly reimagined and refreshed to fit with modern fashion trends. But what about other cultures? Long skirts for women are found in various Southeast Asian cultures, such as Brunei, Singapore, Thailand, and the Philippines. But that's also where the similarities end, because each traditional clothing has its own distinct pattern, design, and fabric. The layers of the cultural onion can also be applied to the Baro't. From the outside, this traditional clothing gives off a sense of gracefulness, but when you look closer, you'll notice that the skirt is a representation of modesty, and that the blouse gives off a sense of elegance. But what most outsiders don't see is the history and true meaning behind the Baro't, that it dates back to pre-colonial Philippines, and that it is the embodiment of what a true Filipina should be and look like. This information is passed down generations, and most non-Filipinos are not likely to know these things. I hope you know a little bit more about this traditional Filipino clothing, and thank you for listening.